of the big things that we talk about during adoption, right? During implementation and ultimately for adoption too, is there's different types of adult learners, right? And when you go to implement a CRM system, it's important to identify which ones you have and put people kind of into a bucket, right? Like which one's this guy, right? And so can you maybe describe the 4 different types of personas we talk about?
This actually comes from one of our customers. Okay. Right? And what he said was, hey, I got 4 different kinds of people.
Yeah.
I got tech savvy technologists, right?
All right.
Tend to be younger. I've got ADD salespeople that tune out in the first 15 seconds of a long-winded conversation.
You were giving me an evil look while you said that. I think I know which one I am already.
I'm just thinking like people are already turning this off, right? Those people are, right?
Guilty.
Then I've got what we call the soft learners, right? Okay. The soft learners just need that practice. And then you finally got the uncoachables. Mm-hmm. And what you have to do is really address each of those markets, right? Yeah. The tech savvy folks, they want a system. They want something that helps keep them organized for free, helps them with the reminders so they can book more business and, have no blockers whatsoever.
Oh, by the way, I mean, anybody coming into a lot of these businesses for the first time are typically going to be younger and they're going to expect the system.
They're going to expect it. Yeah.
Most quote unquote younger folks are already tech savy, right? They were born in the internet. They're not immigrants like we are.
Right.
So,
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think we invented it in our generation, right? They invented the internet.
I thought Al Gore did.
Yeah, that's true too. So the next persona though is that ADD salesperson, right? They've got a 15-second goldfish level attention span, which is fine. But what you have to do for them is make sure that they understand what's in it for them. And generally speaking, they're going to push 1 or 2 buttons just to check the box so that they can move on with what they want to move on to.
Sure.
But you have to make sure that your CRM is that easy to use so that you can capture those people.
Yeah.
Right. You've got your next area called soft learners. Okay. Soft learners are the folks that need to do it 6 or 7 times, and it needs to become routine and habit. Right.
Yeah.
And so what we've seen in soft learners is that when there's not an accountability of putting in a new system, the soft learners might take the training once, not use it, and then have to retake the training again and again, and waits another month and again, right? And so for the soft learners, it's that repetition. There's this thing called the Ebbinghaus curve. Everybody's heard of the learning curve?
Sure. Right? Yeah, learning curve. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ebbinghaus, same guy, is a German philosopher. He also had this other thing that nobody ever talks about called the forgetting curve.
Because they forgot about it.
They forgot about it. And so basically what happens is when you learn a new skill, essentially 30 days later, that knowledge of that skill will have dropped to nothing unless you renewed that skill and used it at least 7 times. And so what happens is if you start from hey, I learned my new skill and this is the percentage of knowledge on the skill on this side of it, right?
Right.
And then this is time across the bottom. It says, okay, here's my new skill.
Yep.
Great. I'm using it. Oh, wait, now it's Tuesday. Now it's Wednesday. Now it's Thursday. Now it's next week, the week after, boom, gone. Maybe retain 10% of it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if you're using it every time, hey, it's Tuesday. Oh, I just added a new thing into our CRM, a new contact. Boom. And so you create more of like a seesaw until all of a sudden you really not going to lose that skill.
Right.
And that's how everybody learns everything. And ironically, as manufacturers reps, we have to learn lots of different products very quickly, right? When we take on a new line, we need to be masters of that line within weeks.
Any salesperson, not just
Yeah.
reps. I mean, it's also for manufacturers when introduce new products, or wholesalers have 1,000 catalogs to choose from too. So
True. Yeah. And so for those soft learners, it's all about that routine and that repetition and the what's in it for them, right? Then you get to the uncoachables.
Oh, wait, can I tell you a quick story on that?
Sure.
So we have a customer out in the New York area, and there was a lot of concern. There's one gentleman, and a big rep agency, 70-person rep agency, right?
I think I might know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and there was concern that one gentleman was probably in the soft learner category. I don't like to categorize people that I know, but still, I'm going to guess he was there, right?
Only at the bar.
A lot of concern that he wasn't going to use the system. 65 years old and just, had his ways, those kind of things. He was, first couple weeks, not that good. His boss said, hey, I need you to do this to leave your legacy. And now he's at the top of their leaderboard because he uses the system all the time. But it took him a while to get there. But now he's humming.
It has nothing to do with age. Yeah. It's all willingness.
Yeah.
It's all about that.
But no, sorry, I cut you off.
But that leads into
my favorite
the
category.
Final one, which is the uncoachables, right? And these are difficult to solve. But again, it goes back to the what's in it for them.
Yeah.
And uncoachables are called that for a reason.
Yeah.
So they have to be willing. Right. And at some point we've seen our customers go both directions with uncoachables where one, they've supported them plenty so that they can get through, let's say, tech savvy needed clicks. Right. And then we've also seen people that say, you know what, we're not as much of a fit as we used to be, and especially if that person's got, isn't that eagle salesperson, we've seen changes there from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, I think in my experience, typically when someone falls into the uncoachable category, it's not just in CRM learning, it's they're uncoachable and they're not going to be long for your organization typically. Yeah.
So again, it does create conflict, and that kind of leads into the difference between a management directed business versus self-directed salespeople.
Yeah.
Which then leads into a lifestyle business versus a growth oriented business.
Yeah.
Right. So
along these persona lines, I would say my advice to the champion, right, of the champion who's championing the cause of putting in the CRM system, take a few moments and identify not just your super user, like we've talked about in the past, but also identify of your people, what category do they fall in, because it's going to help you with your implementation. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those uncoachables, if they're groomable, right? One of the things we also see is pairing up a tech savvy person with that uncoachable and say, guys, we're going to do this together. And then they have fun with it and they develop their own relationship that they may not have had beforehand.
Cool.
Right?